Now that we have power back, welcome back to some more Stormworks. I'm StormRunner Gaming, and today I am back here with the Mega Island Mega Update number 8 here. And we have so many crazy new things that have been added into the game with all the forest fires, the forests that are actually added on not only to this Mega Island here, but also to previous islands around the world as well. So you may have a couple different missions to move fire trucks and vehicles around to attack forest fires on multiple different islands here. But one of the things I wanted to talk about is looking at my map right here. I'm surprised some people have missed this. I mean, it's pretty honestly a very big town right here. I mean, I've got my own lake and my own outpost right here. You do have to zoom in a little bit right there like I did. But anyways, let's go back over to our 3D view. Look at this. I've got a really nice little town. Really nice. I mean, I got my, not my rover, but my RV out here. And I actually did fly the helicopter out here as well. But I mean, they were supposed to give me a state-of-the-art laboratory on the river. That doesn't look state-of-the-art by any standards. Hold on, let's go look at it. I don't think the contractor was very professional with this. It doesn't look like it's gonna hold up much longer either. I don't even want to go in there. That mouth looked like it's chewing on ramen or something. It keeps opening and closing. I should probably just stay as far away. Oh, there we go. There goes the front wall. I think we could probably just push it over ourselves. Ready? Save the demolition crew a couple bucks on equipment here. I really don't want to get into this house, so it's going to crush on top of me. Yep, there it goes. Oh, we'll just leave it to crumbling itself here. So yeah. So nobody saw me fall into the water. Anyways, so I am out here, and it's more so a joke and everything that I'm calling this StormRunner Lake and everything here. It's not actually anything named after me yet, although I'd love to get something named after me in the game. I don't know if I'm that big of an influence to the Stormworks community yet, but anyways, enough of that. We have so many new locations around the Mega Island here to talk about, and a couple little things that may surprise you if you haven't seen them yet. So let's start with the general basics of this Mega Island here, or cluster of islands here. There are actually 4 different base locations or homes here that you could either purchase in your survival, or of course you have available in that creative mode. And actually all 4 of these locations do have a workshop either really close to it or maybe a minute or two's walk away, with both of these runways here having a large hangar for planes, the northern harbor up here having a port to spawn in ships, as well as a train yard up here, and the farthest south location where I am right now, the fishing village, also has its own port to spawn in your own creations. And actually, the cool new thing is we have some larger towns that we actually have access to now, like the one I am looking down on right now, this fishing village down here. It's got probably 10 or so houses around, as well as a community spot there, and I believe a church as well, or maybe the other town has a church in it, and that differentiates them a little bit. I'm going to jump right back over to our map, because the second town we have on this cluster of islands here is Holt Town, which is a very similar town to the fishing village down here, but it's got a couple differences to it. I believe the church is one of them, and of course the location here, as well as it doesn't have any workshops in it. So that's why I'm assuming they did not put a house or teleport location to it, as well as anywhere basically to buy it in that your survival mode there. There also are a lot of bridges going around, with the entire road system going around this place. This includes, I believe, 4 or 5 drawbridges that you can bring up yourself, including the 2 main ones here, as well as one on the backside and there as well. And this is actually just an arched bridge, and I can't remember exactly if that is an arched bridge, a freestanding bridge, or it actually is a drawbridge there, but there is a very vast road system to get around, so you don't actually have to do as much off-roading 4x4 that I was expecting, depending on where you need to go on this mainland. Of course, there are a lot of other locations around this map as well, and we're getting a lot of people's names into the game as well. Down on the southeast side, we have Lighthouse Frantic with its own small island here in this bay or cove, whatever you want to call it here. The island itself with the lighthouse here doesn't offer so much to it other than the lighthouse and building right next to it, as well as that dirt road going back down to the shore here. So I guess you could go and park your boat over here and do whatever missions needed up to that lighthouse here. Our next location is the very large wind turbine farm here, located more in the middle of the map, and it does have a singular building with all of these wind turbines. If you look all the way to the farthest left turbine over there at the bottom, it is a little black crate sitting there that you can actually go inside and has some controls and whatnot that I guess you can play around with. Jumping back to the map, we can see that the wind farm is actually in a somewhat central location for everything. A lot of the extra things added in are in the middle of the map here. So the next part we're going to go over real quick is White Sound here. And while we're actually flying over there, I can talk just a little bit about what this is. And you guys may not have known this or may run into it later and have a lot of trouble with this, but it's a fjord, and you'd spell that F-J-O-R-D or with an S on it if there are multiple. I guess just basic English there. I'm not great at it either. I actually had to look up the word. But anyways, what that means is it's a river pass, or I guess just a water passageway between two very large mountain ranges. So you can see that's what the developers have actually thrown in this huge mega island cluster here. They've actually thrown in a full fjord, and the worst and deadliest part of this fjord here with ships and whatnot is if you don't look carefully, there are a lot of rocks and stuff that you can get stuck on, can scrape the bottom end of your boat and leave you in the drink basically, with your ship sinking at the end of the day. And sometimes going through these passageways, you may not even notice that those rocks scrape the bottom end of your boat. So be very careful when bringing in especially larger ships or heavier vessels through here for rocks sticking up. The next location we have here that we are scouting out in the news helicopter is the Goldblum Mountains. Hopefully I'm saying that right, and actually you guys can correct me in those comments down below. Let me jump over to the map real quick and see Mount Goldblum. I'm not exactly sure the origins of that name or whatnot. I've not actually heard of that person. Maybe they're big in the workshop and I just have a goldfish memory like usual. But they have a full mountain range in what I believe to be the tallest mountain range and largest mountain range in Stormworks here for the mega island here. So there should be some pretty fun off-roading and whatnot to try to get to the peak of this island. So if you want to see that in the future, me trying to get to the peak of this island, or excuse me, the peak of the mountain here, stay tuned for that. And if you guys are wondering why I am using this helicopter over other ones, it's actually one of the few helicopters that isn't having an overheating problem. And pretty soon I should be coming out with a video to try to help decrease the problems with overheating, maybe a new tutorial on that. But this one seemed to do the job fairly well, getting me around pretty quickly and effectively. And I haven't actually had any problems with it yet, so anyways, we're coming up on our next location on the map here, and it is actually yet another mine, just like the first mainland there, or Donk Island as it's called. But we have this mine located at the end of the Goldblum Mountains here, and it is called the Dean Hall Mining Company here. So it is located pretty far in this central island here. Well, central more so from all the islands sitting around it, but there are only 2 more spots we're actually going to visit here. We've already seen the look-alike of Halt Town down at that fishing village here, so we've got 2 more locations to go to. Our next location, located on the northwest side of the map, is Olsen Bay, with a decently sized town and church here, as well as that parking lot. And it does have a dock here, but does not have a workshop to spawn anything in just yet, so you do need to spawn in creations at a different location. While I am taking off from this airstrip here, or this base here, I wanted to add a quick tip. If anyone is going out into the wild with cars and whatnot, you do not want to actually drive it into this strip of grass under me between the 2 runways, because depending on what airport you are at, your vehicle can get stuck pretty quickly in there and have no route out. So usually that means you do have to respawn it, and honestly it's happened to me and a couple other people already, so just a quick tip to make people, I guess, spend less time getting out of that workshop there. And the last location we have here is Toddy Mountain, located on the southwest side of the Mega Island cluster here. It is yet again another mountain range, just like the one in the middle of the mountain, but I believe it is built a little bit different, so maybe there should be some different trails going up, down, around it and whatnot to explore in the future. Although the 5 drawbridges, around the map aren't marked locations, they still are really cool things to look at here. And they have a couple different things you may not know about them here, so let's jump right into it. Of course, with the click of a button on either side, the bridge will lift up to its maximum here. So if you do need to get a large vessel through here and whatnot, all you have to do is run up and click that button. And at first when I saw this little thing here, I questioned what it was, but I now 100% know that it is for when a ship does come around. You send somebody out in a dinghy or something, they come up here, climb up to the ladder, and they're going to go to this control room here. Because there isn't an attendant or anything running the drawbridge here, it's always whoever's vessel is coming through's control to lift up the drawbridge here. So yeah, one other thing about this drawbridge, you cannot stop it at any point. Once you click the button, it's going to go all the way up. You click it again, it goes all the way down. So making it into a ramp is a little bit of a challenge, and I don't know if you've seen the stream I've done exploring this a bit, but it didn't go well for me, so yeah, I'll just leave it there. And as we are moving back to base, I do want to say a quick thing or two about this mega update. It is really cool that they are adding in so much area for cars, trains, and whatnot. I mean, as well as planes to get around. I mean, there's plenty of different locations. And the forest fire aspect of this mega island is an amazingly cool thing. I'm gonna be doing a little bit with that in the future. Hopefully I've got enough time, maybe get a couple people together here and go fight some forest fires, see what we can do to stop as many of them as we can here. But yeah, this looks like where I am going to be landing the helicopter for today. So that is my run through of the mega island here. Hopefully you guys found some of these cool new things that you didn't know before. And another thing you guys may not have known about it, the true and actual name is Mega Island. I found this out due to going into that mission creator there. And Donk Island is still called Main Island, but this is just called Mega Island here with all this cluster of islands here with different numbers to each one at the moment. But yeah, that is where I am going to be ending this video. If you guys do have any other small little things that I missed for this, leave them in the comments down below. Maybe I'll go and visit them in a future video here. But anyways, yeah, that is where I am going to end it. So of course, if you guys did like this, please leave a like and consider subscribing to the channel to stay up with Stormworks and more of my content. But I've never been great at goodbyes, but people need me, and I need to go.